The map and geospatial data collection at Queen's Library focuses on the local area and on Canadian material, and currently comprises over 101,000 maps, 1,900 books and atlases, 45,000 air photos, and thousands of licensed digital maps and image files. Francine Barish, Geospatial Data Librarian, joins me to talk about all this data and how Kingstonians can get access to it. So thanks so much for being here today, Francine.
Thanks for having me.
And maybe let's start with the obvious question. What is geospatial data?
Yeah, so geospatial data is a term that's often used to describe cartographic and map collection. So it's a widely encompassing term that captures all the paper collections that are printed maps and air photos, but also digital collections that are accessible online.
Amazing. And so as a geospatial data librarian, what might I come see you for?
That's a great question. So I would say my day-to-day as a geospatial data librarian really varies. A lot of times we're supporting geography and urban planning students in the program at Queen's. However, it's important to note that the collection's accessible to everyone in the community. So, you know, folks who are interested in their own histories, their own genealogy, interested in places they're familiar with, can come and access the collection and ask their research questions, whether it's for the personal or recreational research, or whether they're someone interested in writing a book on, for example, like ghost railways of Ontario.
Wow. Huge collection that can serve a wide variety of purposes, really. So if I wanted to see what did my property look like, how long ago, or what did Kingston look like, or what did this area look like, you have all these sorts of cool images and gadgets, which maybe we'll touch on a little bit later, that individuals can access and see. So what are some of the highlights of this massive collection?
I would say the collection really focuses on Kingston and the local area. So we've got reproductions of printed maps that go all the way back, you know, to the 1700s.
Oh, wow.
And our hand-drawn maps that sort of show the area from the French perspective, from the English perspective. We've got photography that starts around the 1920s that shows the area. And I would say for questions about Kingston and centered around the Kingston area, it's a fabulous place to sort of ask any sort of research question about the area.
What types of services are offered by the library?
It's worth mentioning that regardless of any affiliation, anyone can come in and use the library, specifically the map and air photo collection. We're currently open from 10 to 2, Monday to Friday. However, we welcome any sort of requests over email, and we're able to meet with people over Zoom or Teams if they're not in the area and email doesn't work, phone. So often I recommend that folks visit the library website, library.queensu.ca, and there's a section on location and hours which shows our current hours, which definitely vary depending on times of year. If you're looking to visit around the holidays, it's probably best to double check.
Right, definitely. By accessing the library and going there, I could take a look at images. I believe you've brought one to show an example.
I brought an example from our air photo collection. This is a photo of the Kingston area that actually shows a little bit of the fort. And what's fabulous about these is they show a little bit about the history of the area over time. It's a particular point in time. These were taken from an airplane, like what you see on Google Earth. So it's worth sort of knowing that we've got broad collections of these that represent different years and time periods that folks can access for Kingston, but also the surrounding area.
Right, so if I picked a specific geographic location that I was interested in, I might be able to come to you or another librarian such as yourself at the library and say, hey, what can you tell me about this region? What can I learn? Any of those types of things?
Absolutely. And often they're a really good proxy for like what was life in the city like at that time. You know, in our earlier photographs you see a lot of like heaps of coal and stables that would have held horses, and I think it's hard for folks to imagine what Kingston would have been like in the past, and when you see it with your eyes, they're an incredible resource just to understand like sort of that social history, and also, you know, the qualities of like the history of some of the industry in Kingston and how the landscape's really changed.
Definitely, yeah, I never thought of that, about how much you could see or learn from looking at it from up above.
Maps and geospatial are just one of the many different things folks can sort of access in the library. I work really closely with our open government librarian, who a lot of these resources are created by governments. So there's often a lot of accompanying materials that really supplement the information that's on the maps themselves. So there's lots of material, but also experts and specialists available. I think it's really the people that bring the library alive, and folks may not know that they can just sort of walk in and come and leverage that assistance. We're here to support all sorts of research questions.
So no need for any Queen's affiliation, but just a wonderful resource with a breadth of resources and expertise from individuals like yourself. And I guess I'm fortunate that I don't have to pop over to the library today because you've brought something great here, and I'd love to take a look at it and have you guide me through it. But for you at home, if you want to take a look, head on over to the library, take a look at whatever area you're interested in, and take a look at that bird's eye view, and then I'm sure you'll learn something from librarians such as Francine. Well, thanks again so much for coming today, Francine. But before you go, I really need you to tell me what this cool thing is in front of me.
Yes, so this is one of many of the library's stereo viewers. They allow you to see the air photos in 3D, and you should be able to see the hill of Fort Henry in these photos using this.
Oh, cool. Yeah, there it is, popping right out at me.